Nobody does it, Bennett. Yes, I've gone and said it. Movies and games, some things that are lame. Nobody does it, Bennett.
Good evening and welcome. There are some superb movies ahead on Movie Review Universe. Next time, we'll join Samuel L. Jackson as he doesn't want to die down here in the 1999 spectacular Deep Blue Sea. Right now though, it's time for Total Recall 1990. Hello and welcome to Nobody Does It Bennett, Movie Review Universe, otherwise known as the MRU. I am your host, the Greg Bennett Experience, and tonight I'm joined by Matt as we review the Arnold Schwarzenegger, Paul Verhoeven sci-fi classic, Total Recall from 1990.
The best.
The best one, yeah. There's two versions, of course. There's the Arnold Schwarzenegger, Paul Verhoeven one, and there's also the 2012 Colin Farrell one, which for a number of years I didn't actually watch. I was like, no.
No, neither.
It's Arnold Schwarzenegger or nothing.
Yeah.
And then I eventually watched it. I didn't completely hate it.
No, it was actually pretty good.
But it took itself... The beautiful thing about this movie is it doesn't take itself all that serious. It has the one-liners, the cheese, and take that away and the movie just... I found the 2012 one was way too serious.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It didn't need to be serious. That was why Arnie acted so well in them.
Yeah, this is prime Schwarzenegger. Right, so Matt, welcome back to the show for a movie that you in fact requested.
Total Recall.
You must be chomping at the bit to go through.
Oh, I love this movie. It's hilarious, as well as great. See you at the party, Richter.
I say that so often in life. Also that and consider a divorce.
Consider this a divorce. Yeah, that one's one of the best ones. Screw you.
What we're going to do on tonight's show is go through the movie Total Recall from 1990, giving our thoughts along the way, as well as acting out certain scenes and lines with their own unique voices. And I'll tell you what, man, there are some great lines in this one. As we just said, a couple of them, but there's so much more.
And the 3-minute scene at the end where he's going... Because that gets me every time. 3.5 minutes that goes on for.
Yeah, and it's just their faces, the puppetry and stuff of the faces.
It's insane.
It's just so unsettling.
Yeah, even Holly was saying, oh, they went all out, didn't they? And I was like, yep, they loved their special effects and all their stuff like that back in the day.
The movie alone, they have a lot of prosthetics and a lot of puppetry. We'll go through it, obviously, but when he pulls out the nose tracker.
Yeah, that one. And the teeth are just...
And also, of course, get to Kato about once they go to the puppet on the stomach, you actually see the guy's face and he looks like a puppet. It's just so disturbing.
That's all I was looking at the whole time I was talking as well.
First, we'll give you our initial thoughts on Total Recall, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Paul Verhoeven. After we run through the movie, we will give our ratings, so stay tuned to find out where Total Recall 1990 lands on the MRU rankings. So, Matt, what made you request to cover Total Recall?
I found this video, I'm pretty sure it was a DVD. I found it when I was 15, 16, played it, fell in love. I think I watched it every other weekend since. Don't know why, I just fell in love with all the prosthetics, everything. It was just one of those crazy movies, and it was Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he was just amazing. It's one of those movies that, there's no other movie like that. Like there is, but there's not. Like you don't see big alien technology in the city that has to heat up the ice core of Mars to release the vapor. Like there's none of that. It's like it's actually got a pretty good story at the base of it, but it's done Arnold style.
Yeah, and that's it. It just seems like another Arnold Schwarzenegger film until you actually look under the surface and realize there's actually more going on than you expect.
So who were those aliens? That's what I don't know, that handprint.
I've put Total Recall as an Arnie classic that is smack bang in the prime of Schwarzenegger's career. With so many great Arnie films such as Terminator 1 and 2, The Running Man, Predator, True Lies, and of course, Batman and Robin. Total Recall isn't my favourite Arnie flick, because T2 is my favourite, but it's definitely in the top 5. Paul Verhoeven movies are always an interesting blend. On the surface, they look like decent action films, which they are, but there's also much more under the surface. RoboCop is a movie that is a satire on corporate greed. Like you watch the little inserts and stuff, it's very much about corporate greed. And Starship Troopers, although sometimes confused as a pro-military film, is actually an anti-military film, like making fun of the propaganda and also the fascism.
Yeah, there's so much in that movie as well.
Yeah.
The guy's like, look, come on, join the army. No legs, no arm, sitting in a chair. That's amazing.
Even little Timmy's trying to register and he's like in the front lines.
I haven't seen that. I have to watch that again.
Watching Total Recall as a teen, I was like, that's a pretty cool action film. Pretty much completely ignored all the deeper meaning. Is this real? Trying to find any clues to suggest if it was the recall program or not.
Yeah, because that's what's always, as a kid, didn't even care, didn't know what was going on, just thought, oh no, this guy's flipped out, and now he is a secret agent. Oh yeah, cool. That's how I kind of just logically thought about it, because that's how it's played. But now I'm thinking, like, is it a Pan's Labyrinth type where did it actually happen? Because the woman did say, we didn't implant the thing, but was that all part of his? Yeah, you don't know. Did he actually fall asleep and then was in it instantly? Was that the 2 weeks worth of memories? Like, you don't.
Well, that's it. As a kid as well, I ignored the first half an hour of the film. And I just, as soon as it gets to Mars, that's when I started taking notice.
Yeah, 100%.
But as you go back and like they're saying that the plan hasn't taken, the chip hasn't taken effect because he's got another one in there. It's like, is this part of the spy system?
Yeah, and it's just some of the things like, welcome to Mars, man. And it's just like, that looks very like, just gunning people down the street. Everyone's just like, bit chilled.
Because even small things like the guy is saying, oh, this is a new chip, so he doesn't know how the story goes.
Yeah.
So being that the story is going wrong, is it going wrong or is it actually part of the story?
Yeah, exactly. And it's the way that he talks to him about, I think this one might be better for you. Maybe this guy, Dennis Quaid, does have a bad thing in his brain. He does have these psycho episodes, or maybe it's the Mars program that does that and lobotomizes people.
If it is the Total Recall program, how come he's dreaming about this person beforehand? Is it because he's dreamed of them and then he's incorporated their design into the thing? You just don't know.
Yeah, you don't know. And then Andy gets the girl and it's like, well, that was fit but perfect. But
so, Matt, would Total Recall be your favourite Arnie film?
Nah, definitely not. Nah, it's good. I love it. And the three-boobed woman just cracks me up when she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then turns her back and Richter just guns her down.
Her name's Mary.
Poor Mary.
Poor Mary.
Poor three-boobed Mary.
What would your favourite one be then?
Probably one of the Terminators. Yeah, it'd have to be one of the Terminators. Those are ridiculous. Because that's how I think Arnold Schwarzenegger should have been played. Just robotic.
He kind of does have the element, as we get to it in this movie, there's a couple of Terminator moments.
When he's on the TV screen?
Well, kind of that a little bit, but also more when he's going around those pillars at the end and he's like searching for all the bad guys with his gun up.
Oh, he is too.
He's using his eyes only, like a Terminator.
He is too, turning his head and he goes, ha 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 ha.
You see him scanning the room with his eyes, not really moving much. I was like, that's very Terminator-like.
He goes, ha 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 ha. You think it's me? It is. Yeah, and then turns him, just does the Terminator.
The off-the-hip shooting?
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, you have to.
He doesn't aim, he just off the hip.
Oh, actually, no, I have to rephrase that now, thinking about off the hip. Predator.
Predator is well Dutch. Yeah, so many good movies.
I haven't seen that in probably 10 years, but yeah, Predator, that was the scene here where he starts covering himself in mud and just goes through that kind of animalistic style. Yeah, no, that was awesome.
There's a new trailer for a new Predator that's coming out, actually. It's called Prey.
Oh.
Probably 1800s because it's Native American tribe that's actually coming up against one.
Oh, so they won't be as advanced, I'm thinking.
No, it's Native Americans, so they're just hunting and all of a sudden they're being hunted.
I'm hoping that the Predators aren't advanced either.
The Predators will be advanced, but the Native Americans will know how to track.
Yeah, that's true. They'll have all those animalistic qualities too, rather than that concrete jungle that poor guy got.
Yeah. Danny Glover.
Bladen, yeah.
Oh, that guy, yeah. Good movie, Predator 2. If you like what you hear or have any suggestions or thoughts for us, who knows, it might be about Total Recall 1990. Well, you can contact us by going to the Nobody Does It Bennett Facebook page or hitting us up on the Twitter at NobodyDIBennett. You can also email us at nobodydoesitbennett@outlook.com or by going to our website, nobodydoesitbennett.buzzsprout.com. Remember, that's a Bennett with 2 N's and 2 T's. Nobody Does It Bennett is available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and other podcast outlets. Right, Matt? Are you ready to recall
The life of your dreams.
Come see us today.
Come see us today.
Ladies and gentlemen, Total Recall from 1990.
Nobody does it, Bennett.
So we're now into the movie here, Matt. Movie starts with a title sequence, a black background with black lettering, with a Mars red colour streaming down the screen, illuminating the credits. I love that. You just see the red coming through and the doom, 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 doom. Very Terminator kind of music.
And I knew it was going to have all the credits at the start too.
Yeah.
I just knew it, and I was just like, I love the build up.
Well, it's only recent that they stopped doing that. Like 80s and 90s, they still did that.
They should have kept doing that. I prefer that. Because then it's almost like people just leave and there's no recognition at the end.
Yeah, that's why they did it, was a way that you had to actually watch the credits at the start rather than people leaving at the end. And also the music during the movie is almost like Alien.
Yeah, it was real eerie and kind of...
Yeah, it's a mixture of Terminator and Alien. After the opening credits, there is a sweeping shot of Mars. You can see two people walking in spacesuits. They have numbers on their backs. The larger of the two people has 08 on their back, while the other has 02. You don't see their faces, just their backs as they look upon a large mountain. The two hold each other's hand. You then see their faces. It's Arnie and the lady. Don't know his name yet, so I just called him Arnie in this.
Basically, Arnie and the lady
Yeah, Arnie and the lady.
on Mars.
That's what the movie was going to be called.
Really?
No.
Oh, God. I was going to say Arnie and the lady. I would have been like, God. Arnie and the lady and the tramp. In cinemas.
Gotcha. Imagine if it was. Arnie slips and falls into the canyon below, with his iconic yell echoing through the canyon as he falls. He smashes his glass face shield while exposing him to Mars's atmosphere. The eye-popping effects are awesome.
Yeah, insane. He's like clawing at his throat, and it's just like, oh my goodness, this is the first scene of the movie. He's just fallen down this bank, shattered the glass on his face.
I like how almost their throat and neck are almost like vibrating as their face is going and their cheeks are going.
Yeah, the whole, even the teeth are almost like bending, like the whole. Oh,
Yeah.
Great.
It's amazing. Cut to Arnie waking up in bed from a nightmare. A different woman next to him, though, comforts him. Doug? Arnie's character's name is Douglas Quaid. Honey, are you all right? Quaid still looks freaked. You were dreaming, Doug. Was it about Mars? Laurie kisses Quaid. Is that better? My poor baby. This is getting to be an obsession. Laurie continues to hug Quaid. The audience gets to see a concerned look on Laurie's face when Quaid can't see her. Was she there?
Who?
The one you told me about, the brunette?
Oh, Laurie. I can't believe you're jealous of a dream.
Who is she?
Nobody does it, Bennett.
As she says, nobody. Does it, Bennett? Nobody? What's her name?
I don't know.
Tell me.
I don't know.
You better tell me. Laurie then starts to get more aggressive. It's not funny, Doug. You dream about her every night. Quaid then holds onto Laurie's leg as she tries to leave the bed. It gets rather forceful here.
But I'm always back in the morning.
Let me go.
Come on, baby. You know you're the girl of my dreams.
You mean it?
You know I do.
Laurie then unties her nightgown. I'll give you something to dream about. I was like, oh, okay.
And then he dreams again, shatters his mask. It's just recurring.
Tell you what, 90s Sharon Stone. I do like how they start with the scene, as it shows you how their relationship has been built up till this point. It makes what happens later all the more surprising.
Yeah, literally.
It's a good setup scene.
It is a good scene, actually. Yeah, it's like, wow. And then she kind of makes sense to it, feels bad, but it's like, does she?
But also, you get those couple of scenes where she has that concerned look on her face, but you don't know what it means. Like, certain characters have that along the way. It's interesting. Cut to Quaid making some sort of protein shake while he watches news on a futuristic TV.
Yeah, that just square in the wall.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Just a square in the wall. Perfect.
The 80s were obsessed with wall TVs. The news mentions that there was more violence on Mars. Terrorists are demanding independence. The fighting once again halted the extraction of turbinium ore. Cueto and his so-called Freedom Brigade claimed credit for the latest bombing, which attempted to reopen the sealed-off pyramid mines. Don't worry though, Matt, as Mars military restored order with minimal use of force, and all damage to the strategic facility was repaired within hours. The Mars administrator, Velos Cohagen, yes, his first name is Velos, but you didn't really hear much. Velos Cohagen vowed to use the troops to keep production at full capacity. Laurie jokes to Quaid. No wonder you're having nightmares. You're always watching the news. Laurie does the Back to the Future 2 thing by changing the wall TV to a scenic-looking window.
Yeah, I actually liked that. I was just like, they're going to do that. I was like, I'm just waiting for that.
I want a fake window, not a real one, damn it.
Yeah.
Quaid says to Laurie that they should move to Mars, Laurie tries to talk Quaid out of living on Mars again. You get the sense they have had this discussion many times before. I mean, really, a revolution could break out there any second.
Cohagen says it's just a few extremists.
You believe him?
Okay, forget about it.
Quaid switches back from a scenic window to the news. Cohagen is now giving a press conference. Cohagen calls the extremists a few lazy mutants. Laurie says to Quaid that they could take a trip. There are way better places than Mars. What about Saturn? As Laurie is trying to butter up old Quaid, Quaid continues to watch the news. What do you say?
I'm late, Laurie.
Quaid is late? Ah, yes, of course. Junior came out after this movie. This must be where Arnie gets pregnant. Sorry.
I'm late.
I'm late.
Oh, God.
He's not drinking a protein shake. He feels sick.
Oh, wait. Quaid's late for work. Right. Of course. As Quaid heads for the door, Laurie blocks his path. I know, it's hard being in a new town. But let's just give it a chance, okay? The new town? He knows his workers and stuff, though.
Like best mates.
Yeah, it's like, how long have they been?
Known you for years. Why are you trying to kill me?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, new town? Okay.
What did I do wrong?
So they've just moved, and now Quaid wants to move again, apparently.
Laurie, you don't understand. I feel like I was meant for something more than this. I want to do something with my life. I want to be somebody.
You are somebody. You're the man I love. Laurie and Quaid kiss.
Bye.
Have a nice day. As like she's saying have a nice day and he leaves, you can see another worried look in her face.
Yeah, she's like, It's what she does as well. And she's just like, oh, I'm just gonna call the doctor. And in a later scene, you can just see she's kind of like,
And that's the great directing of Paul Verhoeven. He's like, he leaves the shot on them. So usually when you see someone, like a camera would cut away to another scene, it just lingers on them for another few seconds.
That's good, yeah.
And it shows them their kind of like concerned face.
And it pulls you towards that character as well, rather than just being like a straight back to Arnold, yeah.
Later on, when the things happen, you're like, oh, that's why she was concerned. Rather, if you didn't show that, people were like, that's kind of outrageous. They showed no signs of being like in a kind of world where they might have been espionage or they might be hiding something. But then you see this, it plants the seeds.
Where in Starship Troopers, the only people that they focus on are the ones that get brutaled. Basically, like they zoom up on that guy that gets the slug.
The only good bug's a dead bug, sir. We'll have to cover that one day as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Another great one. Cut to Quaid walking in some sort of futuristic subway station. There is an X-ray machine that Quaid walks through, as the area he is entering is a no-weapons zone. This is actually a pretty cool effect when he's walking along and then you see him.
I liked that. I like how, yeah, it was cool. I'm not sure what version I watched, but it was an HD version. It was definitely had to be remastered because a lot of even the TV reflection in the previous scene, you could see it perfectly on the table, like kind of reflecting. Yeah, I was like, that definitely wasn't like 90s.
This has been upscaled.
But yeah, they definitely did. It was good to see.
Quaid hops on a futuristic subway. There are TV monitors all over the place in the subway. A commercial comes up on the screens.
Do you dream of a vacation at the bottom of the ocean, but you can't float the bill? Have you always wanted to climb mountains of Mars?
Quaid's attention sets directly on the nearby TV screen.
But now you're over the hill? Then come to Recall Incorporated, where you can buy the memory of your ideal vacation. Cheaper, safer, and better than the real thing. So don't let life pass you by. Call Recall for the memory of a lifetime.
For the memory of a lifetime. Recall, recall, recall. Cut to Quaid and others jackhammering at the construction site. They are all wearing futuristic battery backpacks. Notice I keep saying futuristic for everything because this movie's futuristic.
And the die-hard cop that's in it.
Arnie's arms are insane in this scene. When he's jackhammering, he's like, those arms are just, those aren't real arms.
He could be holding two, just going,
Get me a lemonade, Wanda.
Quaid yells at Harry, the guy next to him. And I've put here, as you just said, Harry is played by Robert Costanzo. He also played the airport traffic cop in Die Hard 2, Die Harder, who gets John McClane's car towed.
yeah.
He's the brother of the captain as well. Have you met my brother? And like she's in the car. Have you met my brother? Merry Christmas. Yeah.
Harry, you ever heard of Recall?
Recall.
You know, where they sell those fake memories.
Oh, recall! Recall, recall, recall! You thinking of going there?
I don't know. Maybe.
Well, don't!
Why not?
A friend of mine tried one of their special offers. Nearly got himself lobotomized.
No way.
Yes, I replaced another word with way. Don't mess with your brain, pal. It ain't worth it. Yes, I replaced another word with mess that time.
I guess not.
But they're all like having a massive conversation when all the jackhammers around them are going off, so they're like yelling at each other.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's like...
Recall, you plan on going there? It's like, could you just have this conversation in a quieter place?
Yeah, why don't you do it when you're not jackhammering?
Harry gives Quaid a concerned look before restarting his jackhammer. Again, another one where there's looking concerned. A similar concerned look that Laurie also gave him.
I'm pretty sure it's all the workers, isn't it, coming up?
Yeah.
All 5 of them, all his mates.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, poor Quaid.
Cut to Quaid walking towards a giant futuristic-looking building.
I love this scene.
Quaid walks inside the building. It's the Recall building. Quaid uses a futuristic touchscreen monitor and looks up Mr. McLean. Another Die Hard reference? A woman is using an electronic pen device to change the colour of her fingernails when Quaid comes walking in.
Now, how cool would that be? You could do it with little tiny LED monitors, and you could have them like almost like your LED strips.
And she just can just change them on the fly. Like whenever she wants, she can have them all the same colour or different colours.
It's cool that she's got the palette too. It's almost like she's got an S pen that she can touch the colour and change the colour and like.
Yeah, it feels like a Surface Pen or something, like
It's quite cool.
from a laptop or something. Yeah.
Hello?
Good afternoon. Welcome to Recall.
Douglas Quaid, I have an appointment.
The assistant uses a futuristic video phone to inform Bob that a Doug Quaid is here to see them. I do love how when everyone's on the video monitor, their face is like smack right up to the video. It's like, I'm right here.
Yeah, it's literally like the entire face in the square like this.
Like stand back a little bit from the camera.
You don't know how to zoom out.
Bob will be right out.
That'll be just 1 minute, Mr. Quaid.
Thank you.
The assistant likes what she sees before going back to changing the colour of her fingernails.
And she does it to green, the colour of his jacket.
Does she? Oh.
If you notice that, she goes, and then she changes it to the same colour of his jacket, and she's like, green, green, green,
Oh,
green.
wow. Did not notice that.
Because I had to go back, so I was like, what is she using? Because I went back a couple of times, like, what is she using on her hands? It looks like an S Pen, and she's like, dyeing it almost like she uses an iPad type of thing. It was cool, though.
Really cool. Bob McLean comes out and greets Quaid. Bob leads Quaid into another room. Go have a seat. Make yourself comfortable.
Thank you.
Now, help me out, Doug. You were interested in a memory of...
Mars.
Ah, yeah, Mars.
Is that a problem?
To be perfectly honest with you, Doug, if outer space is your thing, I think you would be much happier with one of our Saturn cruises. Everybody raves about them.
No, it's not a rumor. No.
Kindergarten Cop.
No, I'm not interested in Saturn. I said Mars.
Okay, you're the boss. Mars it is. Now let me see. The basic Mars package will run you 899 credits. Now, that's for 2 full weeks of memories, complete in every detail. If you want a longer trip, that'll cost you more because it's a deeper implant.
What's in the 2-week package? Sorry, I was just thinking about the whole trip. I was just like, yep, it makes sense to what happened about 2 weeks.
First, Doug, let me tell you, when you go to Recall, you get nothing but first-class memories. Bob flicks over the screens. Private cabin on the shuttle, deluxe suite at the Hilton, plus all the major sites. Mount Pyramid, the Grand Canals, and of course, Venusville. Wink, wink.
But how real does it seem?
As real as any memory in your head.
Come on, don't BS me.
No, I'm telling you, Doug, your brain will not know the difference, and that's guaranteed or your money back.
What about the guy you lobotomized? Did he get a refund?
Bob smiles. You're talking ancient history. Nowadays, traveling with Recall is safer than getting on a rocket. Now check out those statistics. Besides, a real holiday is a pain in the butt. You got lost luggage, lousy weather, crooked taxi drivers. When you travel with Recall, everything is perfect. So, what do you say?
All right.
Smart move. Oh, the trigger finger, he doesn't do it, but yeah.
Yeah, he's like,
Smart move.
imagine he did that. Gotcha.
All right, while you fill out this questionnaire, I'm going to familiarize you with some of our options.
No options.
Whatever you say, can I ask you just one question, though? What is it that's exactly the same about every single vacation you have ever taken?
I give up.
You're the same. No matter where you go, there you are. It's always the same old you. Let me suggest that you take a vacation from yourself. I know, it sounds wild. It's the latest thing in travel. We call it ego trip.
No, I'm not interested in that.
You're gonna love this, Doug. We offer you a choice of alternate identities during your trip. Why go to Mars as a tourist when you can go as a playboy or a famous jock or...
Secret agent. How much is that?
Let me tantalize you. You are a top operative under deep cover on your most important mission. People are trying to kill you left and right. You meet this beautiful, exotic woman.
Go on.
I don't want to spoil it for you, Doug. And you rest assured that by the time the trip is over, you get the girl, kill the bad guys, and save the entire planet. Now you tell me, isn't that worth a measly 300 credits?
That's what I mean. You hear all that, and then you're like,
That sounds exactly like the plot.
what's going on here?
And just when you think, oh no, it's definitely a dream, something will pop up and make you go, but how did they know that? But then maybe they could have found it out through something else, and maybe it's a dream, maybe it's not. Just when you think you got it, it slips away again.
Even the taxi driver, you know, like he could have easily just gone to the other guy, but he's like, I got 5 kids, man.
Guilted him.
Yeah, basically.
Plus, he actually drew him away. He actually grabbed him and took him away. So there was no chance the other guy.
And then it was like, as soon as he went over to the taxi, boom, the rebels. It was almost like it was because he said everything's perfect. You know, it's perfectly played, every memories, and everything kind of was just, nothing was structured, but it felt like, it could have actually been the whole time.
Cut to Quaid smiling with the recall machine turning on behind him. Quaid lies back in his seat with the lights of the recall machine above him. A young, nerdy lab-coated man is at the controls of the machine. Another lab-coated person comes in. An older lady with big black rimmed glasses and orange hair starts talking to Quaid. The two lab coats prepare Quaid for the recall trip. The lady hands the nerdy man a data drive. Apparently this one is a new adventure called Blue Sky on Mars.
Blue sky on Mars, and what happens at the end?
Yeah, it is. It's just enough to make you go, it's probably this, but is it? The lady asks Quaid how long he's been married for while she straps him down. Quaid says that he's been married for 8 years. The lady then uses a drug gun to inject Quaid in the neck. The lady then asks Quaid some questions, including his sexual orientation.
You blew my cover!
Actually, at the start of my DVD, it actually had a warning for cultural differences. It had warning, at the time of this movie, some cultural things were accepted as normal, may not be anymore. We warn you that some things may be, not up to what we kind of expect in today's kind of world and society. Kind of something like that, yeah. It's saying it's a cultural warning.
That's fair.
Yeah, because there is a lot of stuff in here I go, it wouldn't really pipe today.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's get into some of that cultural problems. Quaid also picks brunette when asked about how he likes his woman.
Hetero.
He then picks body type. Wow, this is just like creating a custom character in a modern video game.
Yep.
Quaid picks his woman to be demure, but also sleazy.
More options for you, ladies. Well done.
Yeah. Sleazy is an option. Very much a 90s movie option I put here. Quaid then passes out after seeing a picture of his selected female companion. It is literally there, man.
Literally.
The woman from his dreams.
Literally.
Yep.
It literally is. Yeah.
Cut to Bob in his office with a female client. As he's telling his client about the souvenirs she can get, you can see the female lab coat on the video phone in a panic state.
Screaming at the monitor.
I said steak there, a panic steak.
A panic steak.
It was a panic state. The assistant, who was the fingernail changing lady, knocks on Bob's window to get his attention. When Bob answers the video phone, she's like smack up to the screen as well.
Yes.
They really got to change that camera. When Bob answers the video phone, the female lab coat says how he better get down there. Looks like they have another schizoid embolism.
You blew my cover. He's so strong. Like you just leave the room and just guess it.
So unrealistically strong. I love it. Bob runs into the recall room where the lab coats are trying to restrain Quaid. Time for some Arnie facial expressions here.
Yeah, he's just like so mad.
Bob yells at the female lab coat as it was a simple procedure. Female lab coat says how Quaid had a built-in memory cap. Quaid breaks free and grabs Bob by the throat. You can hear the 80s style throat crunching sound when he grabs him. It's like, well, did he crush his neck? But he's like fine 2 minutes later.
My name is not Quaid.
Female lab coat doses Quaid multiple times in the leg until he starts to lose consciousness.
Like, no wonder it took so long to take effect. Stab him in the chest. Like, don't stab him in the leg. The guy's so pumped up and huge that it's like his blood would be forcing it out of us. Get out of me.
Or go back to his neck again.
Yeah, it's not a Tyrannosaurus you're trying to take down. Like, that's what they were playing it like. And it's like later in the scene, he like rips out of those metal vices and he just that guy through the throat.
Oh, it's brutal later on. But almost get the hunter from the Lost World to shoot him like projectile darts at him from far away. Lady Labcoat says how Quaid went on and on about Mars. He's really been there. Bob says for them to use their heads. He's just acting out the secret agent portion of his ego trip. I do like how like the trip for when you change your personality is called an ego trip.
Yeah, ego trip.
It's good. The female lab coat says how this is impossible, as she hasn't implanted Quaid yet.
Yeah, which just, or is that part of it?
Yeah, that's it. It's like, is it part of it or is it not?
You'd associate the dream with people that you knew. So, yeah, that's how I'd kind of play it anyway.
Yeah, it's just a great job of going, it's almost not a dream then, but it still could be a dream. Film does a great job of making you really think, is Quaid's mission real or just part of the recall adventure? The lines are blurred perfectly. Apparently someone has erased Quaid's memory. The nerdy lab coat says that someone has to be the agency. Female lab coat slaps nerdy lab coat for saying the agency. So,
How dare you?
Bob says to erase any recall stuff from Quaid's head, then dump him in a cab. Bob goes off to destroy Quaid's file and refund his money. And if anyone comes asking, we've never heard of Douglas Quaid. Cut to Quaid waking up in the back of a moving cab. Quaid talks to the driver.
Where am I?
The driver turns around. It's a weird, uncanny valley-looking human-looking robot. Its name is Johnny Cab. He just looks so freaky.
It's horrible, that.
It's just unsettling.
Stretched out face, but yeah.
If I was to think of one word to describe the effects in this movie, unsettling.
Literally. Unsettling. You're in Johnny Cab.
What am I doing here?
I'm sorry. Would you please rephrase the question?
How did I get in this taxi?
The door opened. You got in. Hell of a day, isn't it?
Quaid gets dropped off by Johnny Cab.
Thank you for taking Johnny Cab. We hope you enjoyed the ride.
Quaid meets up with his work buddy, Harry. How was your trip to Mars?
Trip? What trip?
You went to Recall, remember?
I did?
Yeah, you did. I told you not to, but you went anyway.
What are you, my father?
The two chuckle. What a joke.
Hilarious.
It's one of those ones that in the end of a sitcom, they'll laugh and it will freeze and the credits will come up.
And he's probably known him for, what, a month? Like, in reality, if they'd just moved to this town, like...
Exactly. Old friends. Come on, I'll buy you a drink.
Listen, I'm already late. Thank you very much.
As Quaid tries to walk away, he is grabbed by some men, and Harry pulls out a gun and points it at Quaid. Quaid is carried away by Harry and his men. Quaid asks what he did wrong. Harry says that Quaid blabbed. He blabbed about Mars. Harry says that he should have listened to him, as they were going to keep Quaid out of trouble. Quaid breaks free and beats down Harry and his men.
That's such a brutal way. Just like, savage.
Highlights include the double head smash, bang.
The karate chop across the nose, it just blows his nose.
Knees to the head. A backhand karate chop.
That one's the best. It just goes...
Quaid then full-on kills them by standing on Harry's throat, crushing his neck with his foot, grabbing another guy and breaking his neck with a twisting neck breaker, and shooting another with Harry's gun.
And that to me was like, that was pretty secret agent.
You see him like look at his hands afterward and go, what on earth did I just do that?
How did I do that? Yeah, it is too. And that was me like, surely he's in the dream. But is he?
It's all reactionary.
Oh, it's so great.
Is it part of the program? It's the question that we'll keep asking ourselves.
It's so well done.
Quaid looks at his hands that are covered in blood, wondering just how he managed to do what he just did. Quaid runs away. Cut to Laurie at home, doing some tennis lessons with a holographic instructor. Quaid arrives home. Laurie says hi as she continues her tennis lesson. Quaid turns off the lights and he tells Laurie that some men just tried to kill him. Some sort of spies or something. Quaid explains to Laurie that Harry from work was their boss. Laurie asks Quaid to explain to her what exactly happened. Quaid says that they were talking about Mars and how he went to Recall. You went to those brain butchers?
Let me finish.
What did they do to you? Tell me.
I got a trip to Mars.
Laurie says that nobody is trying to kill him. But Quaid says that they were trying to kill him, but he killed them. Laurie tells Quaid that Recall have messed up his mind, and now he's having paranoid delusions. Quaid then shows Laurie his blood-covered hands. Or his bloody hands.
You call this a delusion?
Laurie says how she's going to call a doctor. Quaid tells her not to. As Laurie's making sure Quaid is away from the monitor, Richter shows up on the screen.
Hello?
Michael Ironside's so good. Quaid washes his face and the blood off his hands in the bathroom sink. When he comes out of the bathroom, he is shot at. Quaid does an Arnie dive onto the floor and begins to work his way around the darkened room. Quaid yells for Laurie to get out, hoping she won't be shot by the gunman. Or gun woman. When the gun person has to reload, Quaid throws a chair at them. Quaid tackles the shooter to the ground, dislodging the gun. Quaid manages to turn on the light while holding on to the shooter. It's Laurie.
Laurie?
Laurie elbows Quaid a few times, including once in the balls. She then starts throwing high kicks at him, and then nads him once again. Quaid throws Laurie over the kitchen table. She gets up and grabs a knife from the sink and hides it behind her back.
Why are you doing this, Laurie?
Laurie comes at Quaid with the knife, slashing his chest and wrist. Quaid wrestles her to the ground and grabs the gun and points it at her head.
Talk! I said talk!
I'm not your wife.
The hell you're not.
I swear to God, I never saw you before 6 weeks ago. Our marriage is just a memory implant.
You think I'm stupid? I remember our wedding.
It was implanted by the agency.
Flying in love.
Implanted.
Our friends, my job, 8 years together, all of this was implanted too?
The job's real. The agency set it up.
Nonsense.
Yep, another word replacement there. They erased your identity and implanted a new one. I was written in as your wife, so I could watch you and make sure the erasure took. Sorry, Quaid. Your whole life is just a dream.
Okay then, if I'm not me, who the hell am I?
Beats me. I just work here. Doug, there's something I want you to know. You were the best assignment I ever had. Really.
I'm honored.
You sure you don't want to, just for old time's sake? Come on. If you don't trust me, you can tie me up.
I didn't know you were so kinky.
I like when he says that. I didn't know you were so kinky.
Kinky.
Maybe it's time you found out. Oh, this could be a very different film very quickly. Quaid then realizes that Laurie has just been buying time as he looks to the video monitor and sees men entering from the lobby. One of the men is Richter.
And here's the famous Jurassic Park
Yep.
scene. Clever girl. no.
Clever girl.
But yeah, wow, this predates Jurassic Park too. So there you go. Yep.
So, yeah.
You see that line, like that line was probably innocent. It's like, oh yeah, clever girl, like it'd be in a million scripts.
That's perfect for Jurassic Park.
But now that it's been in Jurassic Park, everyone looks at it and goes, Jurassic Park. Yeah, you stole it. You went back in time.
Yeah, you went
stole
back
that.
in time, Arnold Schwarzenegger. You stole this for a one-liner.
Clever girl.
People go, oh no, but Total Recall was made before Jurassic Park. Yeah, but Total Recall's in the future, so that negates the fact.
Yeah, it does. Which is why he came up with it. That's why he said clever girl. Because she played him like a velociraptor. And he knows.
Another lorry attacks him from the side. Oh!
Gets taken down.
No, Sharon Stone, no.
Laurie says to Quaid that he wouldn't shoot her. Well, she's right, as Quaid knocks her out instead. Quaid escapes his house.
Yeah, that he just brutals her with his giant ape hand. Like,
I think he hits her with a gun as well. Oh, it's brutal. Cut to Quaid running down some stairs, avoiding Richter and his men. Richter arrives at the house. One of the men goes to touch Laurie, when Richter pushes the man out of the way.
Don't touch her.
Richter comforts Laurie. Richter and Laurie discuss Quaid. Laurie says that Quaid remembers nothing so far. One of Richter's men has some futuristic GPS tracking. They are tracking Quaid's movements, somehow.
That reminds me of the alien tracker.
Cut back to Quaid running through the crowds of people. Richter kisses Laurie. Real nasty like too. He's like, "Rah." He's just like sucking the air out of her mouth. Got the tongue going as well. He's like pushing his tongue through. She doesn't want it, but he's like,
I have this one scene.
how often does Michael Ironside get a kissing scene? Not often.
Ironside.
Richter tells Laurie to pack her things and get out of here. What if they bring him back?
Not a chance.
Quaid continues running through the crowds while Richter's group pursues. Quaid even runs through the X-ray machine, which reveals his gun. The guards going after Quaid and the X-ray machine looks pretty cool. So it's like a whole skeleton battle.
Yeah. And even pats himself down like, oh, damn, I forgot about that gun.
Yeah, it's a big old red. So you can see the red on it too. It's real cool. Quaid then jumps through the X-ray machine, shattering it, but somehow not cutting himself.
4-inch thick glass or something, making a horrible shattering sound as it shatters. And he's just like, yeah, I'll push my wrists out at it.
The pursuit continues for a while. Quaid even uses an innocent man as a meat shield at one point. You understand? He grabs the guy, and the guy's just a meat shield.
I didn't even realise that. What a dick.
He wasn't. I don't think he was a gunner. I think he's just an innocent man on the escalator.
Fills him with holes.
And then Richter's behind him. He turns the guy's body around and uses it as a shield against Richter.
I know, Savvy, he must be a spy.
He's gotta be.
No civilian does that.
Quaid jumps onto a moving subway, smashing open a window while Richter shoots at him from behind. Quaid gets away. There is another ad playing on the subway TVs. This one talks about taking a ride on a space shuttle. Quaid knows what he must now do. Richter seems to have a personal grievance against Quaid. One of Richter's men even says how he wouldn't want Quaid porking his old lady either. Oh, okay. Richter takes a video call in his car from Cohagen. What the hell is going on?
I'm trying to neutralize a traitor, sir.
If I wanted him dead, you moron, I wouldn't have dumped him on Earth.
We can't let him run around. He knows too much.
Laurie says he can't remember jack all.
That's now. In an hour, he could have total recall. Total recall. Total recall. Total recall.
No. Snaps. Listen to me, Richter. I want him delivered alive for implantation. Have you got that? I want him back in place with Laurie. Richter fiddles with the channel noise. Did you hear me?
What's that, sir? I couldn't hear you.
Richter's men tells them that they have located Quaid again. Richter drops the video feed.
We should have killed Quaid on Mars.
Cut to Quaid running along a street. We see neon signs for companies like Fujifilm, Coca-Cola, and a Philips audio-video sign. Quaid makes his way to the Hotel Ritz. Cut to Richter and his guy closing in on Quaid's location. Quaid enters one of the hotel rooms. Quaid gets a video call. The guy on the phone tells Quaid that he is being tracked and tells Quaid to wrap a wet towel around his head to muffle the signal. Richter's guy loses the signal. Richter tells him to find Quaid. The guy then tells Quaid to go to the window. Quaid looks outside to see the man he is talking to. Notice when he's on the phone, he's like got the phone up to his ear, but he's on a video phone.
Yeah, but he's got it like he's right here, and he turns around and looks at him too, and he's still like this on the video phone. Yeah,
He's like,
you go in this briefcase, and he's like turning around, and looking up at the window.
where's the camera?
And how did he know he was directly there? Yeah, it's like I'm just gonna call this phone. This is the exact room at this time. I know he's in there. Yeah, let's do it.
The guy then tells Quaid to go to the window. Quaid looks outside to see the man he's talking to. The man drops a suitcase from outside the hotel room. Apparently, Quaid and this guy were buddies in the agency on Mars. Quaid asked him to track him down if he ever disappeared. Quaid goes and gets the briefcase. He wrestles it off some old lady who calls Quaid some choice words.
Yeah, she does.
It's my suitcase.
He bows at her. Yeah.
He does bow to her, yeah.
Yeah, he's just like, home, thank you.
Richter and his guy drive right past Quaid. Quaid makes a run for it and enters a Johnny cab. After the Johnny cab refuses to go due to Quaid not giving him an address or giving it an address, Quaid rips out the robot of the driver's seat and takes over himself.
Fasten your seatbelt.
Quaid hoons around the city while Richter chases and fires at Quaid's Johnny cab. Quaid manages to escape. Again. Quaid gets out of the Johnny cab.
The fare is 18 credits, please. Sue me, dickhead.
Johnny cab then has some type of circuit break and starts driving right towards Quaid. The cab misses Quaid though and crashes and explodes into a concrete barrier. A burning and melting Johnny has one final thing to say.
We hope you enjoyed the ride.
It's so good.
And it just blows up.
Yeah, boom. And so there you go. Just takes off 18 credits, please. Malfunction. He'd say,
Is it the malfunction from the fact that he ripped it out of the thing? Or was it because he didn't pay it?
yeah, because he's so me, dickhead.
He didn't pay it, so it tried to run him over?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair in the future.
Pay your fares, guy, right? If you're going to get a taxi, you make sure you pay it in the future.
Look what happened to Will Smith and iRobot. He wanted to use all his 90s circuitry that he used, and no, didn't work out well.
That, Detective Spooner, is the right question.
Detective Spooner.
Quaid finds a quiet place to investigate the briefcase. He discards some rats and places the briefcase on a makeshift concrete table. In the briefcase, he finds some money, some fake IDs, and some sort of weird tool, and a watch that makes a holographic copy of himself.
I mean, I love when he freaks out.
He sees a shadow of him.
Turns on, he's like, oh!
Yeah. If it's a hologram of himself, why is it in darkness? Because wouldn't it be lit up by him?
That's what I thought. I was just like, that's a pretty good hologram.
And a big laptop that has a video message looking thing. There is a message from, well, himself on it.
Howdy, stranger. This is Hauser. If things have gone wrong, I'm talking to myself, and you've got the red towel wrapped around your head. Now, whatever your name is, get ready for a big surprise. You are not you. You are me. No duh.
Cut to Richter in his car. One of Richter's units have picked up an explosion at the old cement factory because when he shot at himself, he created a large explosion. Richter says for the guy to get 2 units and he'll meet them there.
A large explosion.
Mm-hmm.
All my life I've worked for Mars Intelligence. I did Cohagen's dirty work. But a few weeks ago, I met somebody, a woman, and I learned a few things. Like I've been playing for the wrong team. All I can do now is try to make up for it. There's enough stuff in her to screw Cohagen good. Now, unfortunately, if you're listening to this, that means he has got to me first. And here comes the hard part, old buddy. Now it is all up to you. Great.
I've got to put there too that his name on the video message is Hauser as well. It's not Doug Quaid. He said it's where he goes, whoever your name is. His original name is Hauser. Richter and his squads arrive at the old cement factory. They come across the Johnny Cab, which is still on fire. Richter's men split up and start looking around for Quaid. Hauser shows Quaid how to remove the bug from his head. Hauser says to use that tool that Quaid pulled out of the briefcase before, so that funny looking tool. Quaid needs to stick it up his nose. The tool has a little wee claw machine claw on the end of it. Don't worry though, Quaid. It's self-guiding. This part is pretty gross. The face prosthetics look really freaky when he's trying to pull the track out of his nose. Reminds me of the first Terminator.
You can see the animatronics almost.
Yeah, the first Terminator movie when he's got half damage on his face. They went to a puppet.
Oh, they did too. Yeah, that's right.
It looks like that, but the expressions of
Yeah, it's so intense.
Yeah. Quaid pulls out a tracer the size of a small Christmas ornament out of his nose.
It's the size of a grape. That would have split your nose. Like there's no way.
No. Richter's men get a lock on Quaid's location.
Now, this is the plan. Get your ass to Mars. Then go to the Hilton, flash the Brubaker ID at the desk. That's all there is to it. Just do what I tell you, and we can nail that son of a gun who screwed you and me. I'm counting on you, buddy. Don't let me down.
Quaid sees Richter's men closing in on his location. Richter and his men shoot on what they believe is Quaid's location.
There! No, that was... How many times?
It turns out to be just some rats and junk. The laptop device that Quaid tried to destroy is on a loop saying, "Get your ass to Mars." Richter now knows where Quaid is going. It's like, out of all the things it could have said, it just keeps saying that.
Get your ass to Mars.
And he shoots the rat, and it's the juiciest rat I've ever seen.
Yeah, it just literally just shot like red porridge at the whole screen. I was just like, nah.
It must have exploded.
Yeah.
It's like, ugh.
Explosive rounds.
Yeah. Cut to Quaid arriving on Mars. A large, middle-aged woman is being processed through customs. Richter arrives back on Mars. Mr. Cohagen wishes to see Richter. So, how long do you plan to stay on Mars?
2 weeks.
Richter and the group see some graffiti that says, Kratos lives. Have you brought any fruits or vegetables to the planet?
2 weeks.
Excuse me? The lady's face starts to show some weird twitches.
2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Richter is about to leave the area when the lady's odd behaviour gets his attention. The lady seems to be having some sort of standing seizure.
Quaid. That's Quaid. Get him. Her.
The lady twists her ear to reveal some sort of power source in the lady's head. The lady's face then separates off, similar to a gold mask in the movie Stargate. The prosthetic Arnie head looks pretty off-putting. No one shoots Quaid, as they're all amazed to what they just saw. Quaid throws the lady head at some guards.
Get ready for a surprise.
The lady's head blows up, causing a distracting explosion. Richter shoots at Quaid, but misses and hits a window. The pressure in the room is compromised and starts sucking people. It starts to suck people. Like, sucking people sounds weird.
And starts sucking people. Just blows a hole in the wall. There's a Mars glory hole for all.
Everyone gets a turn, and Mars
Quaid just gives up.
and starts sucking people, including Richter, towards the outside window. Quaid hangs on to a nearby rail. Some guards get sucked out the window. Another guard presses an emergency button which seals up the window. Quaid escapes through a door before it's sealed off.
Open the door. They're all connected. So in other words, if we open them, the same thing's going to happen.
Cut to Quaid on a train. He is now changed out of the lady clothes. You can hear some people on the train talking about how Cohaagen has raised the price of air again. Quaid asks the guy about the pyramid mine outside. The guy Quaid talks to was a regular on the TV show Home Improvement as a builder/musician on tool time. Cut to Richter arriving in Cohaagen's office. Cohaagen's office is very corporate and very menacing looking, with the red light of Mars creating a dark red atmosphere.
Mr. Cohaagen,
Cohaagen says nothing, just continues to stare out the window from his chair.
you wanted to see me, sir?
Richter, do you know why I'm such a happy person?
No, sir.
Because I got the greatest job in the solar system. As long as the tiberium keeps flowing, I can do anything I want. Anything. In fact, the only thing I ever worry about is that one day, if the rebels win, it all might end. And you're damn well making it happen. First you try to kill Quaid, and then you let him get away.
He had help from outside, sir.
I know that.
But I thought...
Who told you to think? I don't give you enough information to think. You do what you're told. That's what you do.
Yes, sir.
Now, let's get down to business. I like it. It's just how you don't get paid to think, or who told you to.
Yeah, who told you to think?
Cohaagen feeds his futuristic fish. No jokes, they're just goldfish. Everything.
Then smashes the thing.
Oh, later on, it's unfair.
Sitting there and I'm like, no.
We've got a tricky situation here. Quaid wants what's in Quaid's head, and he might be able to get it, because they say he's psychic. And I have a plan to keep this from happening. Do you think you can play along?
Yes, sir.
Great, because otherwise, I'll erase your ass. Eraser, it's a future movie from Arnold Schwarzenegger, Eraser. Actually, a sequel to that movie just came out with, like, C-grade actors. It showed up on the Xbox store yesterday.
Oh, God.
I'm not sure if it's a prequel or... But yeah, it doesn't look great.
Nope.
Ronnie Cox, who plays Cohaagen in this one, is one of the great 80s villains. He plays a great dick in RoboCop. He also plays a good guy, though, pretty well, as he's the Beverly Hills Cop police captain in the Beverly Hills Cop movies.
He is too.
It's weird because he can play such a really good dick, but then he's also very sympathetic.
Yeah. He doesn't even look like the same character playing two different... Yeah.
No, I think he gets shot in the second one, didn't he? Spoilers for a movie that's...
Anyone who hasn't seen it, if you haven't, then please just go see it.
Cut to Quaid exiting the train. As Quaid is walking, he is bothered by some men offering him taxi rides. Quaid just keeps on keeps on. I said there. Quaid just keeps on walking. Quaid goes to the Hilton. Quaid goes to the main lobby and asks for a room, showing the front desk his ID, like Hauser told him to. There is something for Mr. Brubaker in their safety deposit box. Quaid asks for them to get it for him. A fingerprint scan is required. Quaid looks worried by this, but decides to chance it. His fingerprint is accepted. The only thing in the safety deposit box, though, is a flyer from an X-rated bar club called The Last Resort.
Good on you.
On the back of the flyer, there is a handwritten message. For a good time, ask for Melina. I like how he, like, after he sees this, he's like, give me a pen. And he, like, writes it to see if it's his handwriting.
Yeah, and it doesn't. He's like,
One of the guys from before asks Quaid again if he needs a cab.
What's wrong with this one?
He ain't got 5 kids to feed.
Where's yours?
Right over there, man.
Benny leads Quaid away before another cab driver tries to intervene. As Benny opens the door in the cab for Quaid, there is a massive explosion from just behind the car. There seems to be a battle going on between the rebels and soldiers just in the middle of the area. I was like, it's the battle, don't worry.
Welcome to Mars, man.
What the hell was that? An accident?
That's the rebels, man. Let's get out of here before they try to arrest us.
What do the rebels want?
The usual. More money, more freedom, more air. So where to?
Last resort.
Ha! You're getting off to an early start. First time on Mars?
Yes, well, actually, no. Well, sort of.
Ha! Damn. The man don't even know whether he's been to Mars or not. Ha ha ha.
The cab drives past a giant tank that has drills and crushing devices all over it. I'm guessing they're used to create the tunnels of Mars.
Voila! Venusville. Ha! Hey, you see anything you like? Well, this is the end of the line. We'd better walk from here. I'll show you the way.
As Quaid gets out of the cab, a mutant-like man grabs Quaid and asks him if he wants to know about the future.
What about the past?
I like that. What about the past? Yeah. Benny grabs Quaid and leads him to the last resort.
Now that guy will spend his whole life like, damn.
Spent my whole life perfecting the future. I never should have the end.
No one's doing the past. God damn it. A lot of the mutants seem to be able to read minds and guess birthdays. Apparently, some people have been mutated due to the cheap materials used in certain areas of Mars by Cohagen. Benny recommends a different club. Quaid says, yeah, as you probably get kickbacks.
Hey, come on, man. I got 5 kids to feed.
Quaid hands Benny some money.
Take them to the dentist.
Benny says that he'll wait for Quaid outside. Quaid enters the last resort. There are lots of half-naked ladies dancing and men talking to women. Quaid goes over to the bar and says to the bartender that he's looking for Melina. Bartender says that Melina is busy, but Mary here is free. This is where the world is introduced to Mary, the 3-breasted woman. Quaid passes on Mary, the 3-breasted woman, and says that he will wait for Melina. Bartender says Melina is real picky. Quaid says how she'll like him, then hands over a wad of money. Bartender calls Mel over. Melina looks in Quaid's direction. It's the same lady from the dream. Also the same lady from the Recall Customize Your Own Woman program from before.
Jesus.
The club music in this scene is very 80s and very bad. It almost has like a video game synthesized to it.
Dun, 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 dun. It's like the start. It's like the, I don't know, what would you call that? Like a loading game for like the Far Cry Blood Dragon.
It's just like almost elevator, synthesized elevator music, and it's just awful.
Hey, get over here.
Hello, Hauser. Still bulging, I see. Melina then grabs Quaid's nads. What have you been feeding this thing?
Blondes.
I think it's still hungry. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you're introduced to Melina in this movie.
Yep. Yep.
A mutant man walks up to Quaid and grabs his massive, bulging arm. You've got a lot of nerves showing your face around here, Hauser.
Look who's talking.
Oh, mutant joke, because he's got a mutant face.
Oh.
Let's just make fun of his appearance here, Hauser. Sorry, Quaid. Another guy comes in and tries to stop Tony the mutant from attacking Hauser.
Relax. You'll live longer.
That's another classic line, though.
Yeah.
Love that line. Quaid and Melina go upstairs. They go past Honey, the little person escort. Melina leads Quaid into a back room. She then slaps Quaid. You son of a bitch. Oh, sorry, that's the actual line, sorry. You son of a beehive. That's what it says here. Beehive, all right? You're alive? I thought that Cohagen tortured you to death.
Well, I guess he didn't.
And you couldn't get me a message? You never even wondered what happened to me? Melina then hugs Quaid. Hauser, thank God you're alive. Melina starts kissing all over Quaid's face. But he ain't got time for that. Quaid has something he needs to tell her.
Melina, I have to tell you something.
What?
I don't remember you.
What are you talking about?
I don't remember you. I don't remember us. I don't even remember me.
What, did you get amnesia? How'd you get here?
Hauser left me a note.
Hauser? You're Hauser?
Not anymore. Now I'm Quaid. Douglas Quaid.
Hauser, you've lost your mind.
I didn't lose my mind. Cohagen stole it. He found out that Hauser switched sides, so he turned him into somebody else. Me.
This is too weird.
Then he dumped me on Earth with a wife and a lousy job.
Did you say wife? Are you married?
No, she wasn't really my wife.
Oh, she isn't? How stupid of me. She was Hauser's wife.
Look, forget that I said wife.
Let's just forget everything. I'm sick of hearing your goddamn lies.
Why would I lie to you?
Because you're still working for Cohagen.
Don't be ridiculous.
You never loved me, Hauser. You just used me to get inside.
Inside what?
Melina stares at Quaid for a moment, unsure of him. I think you better leave. Quaid continues to try and convince Melina, as Hauser has sent him to her for a reason. Melina says that she's not falling for it. After Melina pulls a gun on Quaid, well, he decides to leave. Cuts to Benny getting a feel of Mary's 3 breasts.
Baby, you make me wish I had 3 hands.
I don't know why I kept it in, but I had to. Benny sees Quaid coming downstairs. Quaid tells Benny to take him to his hotel. One of the guys watches Quaid leave, then looks up at Melina, who is on the 2nd floor. I guess you thought you've seen her before? If you hear something late at night, some kind of trouble, some kind of fight. Cut to Cohagen addressing people on TV. He has declared that martial law is now in effect on Mars. He goes on about how the rebels are causing misery and suffering. Quaid, who is lying on his hotel bed, switches off the TV. There is a knock on his door. Someone calls out his name. Quaid approaches the door with a gun. It's Dr. Edgemar from Recall. He was on the commercial. Recall, recall, recall. Dr. Edgemar explains to Quaid that he is not really standing there right now. Quaid's not here, and neither is Dr. Edgemar. Apparently, Quaid is still at Recall. Quaid is strapped to an implant chair, and Dr. Edgemar is monitoring him from a psychoprobe console. What Quaid is experiencing is a free-form delusion based on their memory tapes, but Quaid is inventing it himself as he goes along. Dr. Edgemar has been artificially implanted as an emergency measure. Recall can't snap Quaid out of his sweet, sweet fantasy, baby. Dr. Edgemar has been sent to try and talk him down. Edgemar explains how all the things he's experiencing is all part of his Mars package. That's the Recall package, not like he's got a bigger dick or anything on Mars, but maybe he does. What have you been feeding that thing, you know?
Yep. Blondes.
The conspiracies, the fact that he's a secret agent, and of course, the girl. Dr. Edgemar opens the hotel room to reveal Laurie is on the other side. Laurie is at Recall. She wants Quaid to come back to her. Dr. Edgemar attempts again to convince Quaid that he is not really on Mars. Dr. Edgemar pulls out a red pill. Ooh, very Matrixy. If Quaid swallows the pill, he will return to reality. Quaid points the gun at Edgemar's head and says that if what Edgemar is saying is true, then it won't matter if he pulls the trigger. Edgemar explains that if he does that, then Quaid will never escape his mind and will be stuck forever. Quaid puts the gun down. He starts to believe that he is stuck in a recall simulation. Quaid puts the pill in his mouth, but before he swallows it, he sees a bead of sweat run down Edgemar's head. Why would he be nervous if he's not real? Quaid shoots Edgemar right between the eyes. Laurie says that now he's done it. The wall behind Quaid explodes and goons enter the room. Quaid puts up a nice fight, some serious backhand chopping action, before being knocked to the ground. The goons grab Quaid while Laurie kicks Quaid in the head. Laurie then stomps Quaid in the nads. She likes kicking him in the nads. And then kicks him again in the face, knocking him out. The goons cuff Quaid. Laurie video messages Richter. Richter tells Laurie to bring Quaid down in a service elevator. But it's a very interesting scene. Is this guy real? Was he not? You don't know for half the thing. But the fact that it's the sweat that gives him away that...
Yeah, 100%.
Why would he be nervous if...
Yeah, exactly. If he's in his head.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's he got nervous about? He doesn't care about this guy. He's just coming to help him.
No, and Cohagen did say, I have another plan, and that would have been the plan.
Yeah.
The goon drags Quaid's unconscious, carved body along the hotel hallway. As Laurie and her goons wait with Quaid at the elevator, they are greeted by Melina with a machine gun when the doors open. Melina mows down the goons. Pretty easy to do so, as they just stood there and waited to be shot. They're like, ah! None of them actually draw fire on it.
Nah, not at all.
It's weird. Laurie then kicks the gun out of Melina's hand. Time for a girl fight. Laurie hits Melina with some mid-range chops and a monkey flip, before Melina lands a punch to the face and an impressive reverse spinning kick. Quaid wakes up and sees Melina and Laurie fighting. Laurie starts to get the better of Melina and has her pinned to the ground. Laurie is yanking Melina's hair back and goes to use an ankle strap blade. Quaid shoots the blade out of Laurie's hands. Doug, honey, you wouldn't hurt me, would you? Sweetheart? Sweetheart, be reasonable. Laurie reaches behind her back for a pistol. After all, we are married. Quaid then shoots Laurie in the head with a single bullet from an Uzi, even though he pumps out a few bullets.
Yeah, he does too. He goes, shoots like good 8-9 bullets and then it's straight through the middle of the forehead. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Consider that a divorce.
Another great line.
Yeah.
That was your wife? Quaid nods his head. This is the only one I've actually kept in, so there we go. What a bitch.
Yeah, no, that's fair though.
You wouldn't shoot me, would you, honey?
Consider that a divorce.
Yeah, there you go.
Richter sees that the elevator is stuck on the 6th floor, so he runs with one of his guys to another elevator. Melina comes to rescue Quaid as Cueto wants to see him. Quaid and Melina run away, just as Richter arrives in the elevator. When Richter sees all the dead bodies, he doesn't seem to care much. In fact, he almost looks impressed. But then he sees Laurie's body and gets angry like only Michael Ironside can.
Yep. Oh.
Just that anger in his eyes. Melina and Quaid jump onto a service ramp. The blue screen effects have not aged too well. Whenever someone has a backdrop of Mars behind them, it gives the actors a weird outline.
Wow.
Richter's boy catches Quaid and Melina climbing down the service ramp ladder, but doesn't fire on them. Maybe he's worried about breaching that pressurized glass like before.
True.
Richter shows up and looks to fire at Quaid and Melina. Richter's boy tells him to stop, as he might crack the dome. Oh, okay, so he was worried about breaking the glass. Quaid and Melina get in a taxi. It's Benny yet again. Man, it's like Benny is almost following them or something. Benny drives them to Last Resort while being chased and shot at. Benny reminds them that he has 5 kids to feed. Benny drives through a few shops as he has no brakes. They all start running on foot. Melina, Quaid, and Benny run into Last Resort. Tony opens up a passage in the wall for them to go through. Once through, Tony closes the door and some ladies put a table in front of the wall and the ladies sit in chairs around it. So that's cool. Hidden rooms are always cool. When Richter comes storming in asking where they are, Mary, the 3-breasted woman, says that she doesn't know. Richter shoots her in the back. So, in the back as well. Tony comes to save Honey from being shot by kicking Richter's gun out of his hands. Tony is then shot for his troubles. Richter orders his men to kill them all. People are gunned down while others fight back. Honey stabs Richter's boy. So he gets stabbed pretty nastily, actually.
Yeah, right in the stomach.
Charges him. Ah!
Yeah. And he's just like, oh! Yeah.
As Richter's men start to get overwhelmed, Richter decides to bail by doing a slow-mo dive through the window. He escapes, like, just crashes through the window.
Run away, swam away.
More troops show up outside Last Resort. Richter gets a video message from Cohagen. Cohagen tells Richter to stop fighting and pull out. Richter says how they have them pinned down. Cohagen seems pleased, but still orders Richter to pull out. Cut to Melina, Quaid, and Benny running through a cave-like area. Cohagen starts to seal off all the exit points, but the trio manage to get under a door before it closes. Cohagen gets the fans shut off in Venusville District. Without the fans being on, the place will get extremely hot and will also stop the oxygen flow, suffocating all inside. Melina, Quaid, and Benny come across some bodies buried in the walls. They are the bodies of the first human settlers to Mars. They worked themselves to death, but Cohagen ended up with all the money. Cohagen built cheap domes which caused the mutations in some of the people. And if you want to breathe, you have to buy his ear.
So what can I do?
Quato's gonna make you remember some things you knew when you were a Hauser.
Like what?
All sorts of things. In other words, she has no idea. Like maybe you'll remember you loved me.
I don't need Quatu for that.
Oh. Quaid and Melina kiss. As they're kissing, a gun gets pointed at them from behind a corpse in the wall. Freeze!
Come on, Melina. Kuoto's waiting.
Quaid and Melina get led away to Quato by a small group of rebel scum.
Literally. Yeah.
Rebel scum.
Benny comes running to them to find out they're surrounded by people who are part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take them away.
You must stop the Rebel Alliance.
Benny removes his left hand to reveal that he has some weird bug-looking arms.
You don't know the power of the dark side.
Creepy. The creepy bug arms convinces the rebels that Benny is cool, so they all go to meet Quato.
He's just a dick.
He is. He's no Jets, that's why you need Benny and the Jets. Benny and the Jets. The rebels have a base behind a fake wall. Feels like a makeshift Batcave. There goes one of my Batman references. Quaid and Melina get led to a computer setup. A sweet 80s computer setup. Tony is on the video monitor explaining how the Venusville district is running out of air. Yep, smack up against the camera again.
He's literally, guys. Yeah, that's it.
I have to have my whole entire face in the image.
Yeah.
Quaid is led into another room by one of the rebel guys.
Where's Kuato? Step back from the monitor. I can see up your nose.
On his way. You heard about the rumors about the pyramid mine?
Yeah.
Cohagen found something weird inside, and it's got him scared.
What? Aliens?
Maybe a predator, Quaid. Here you go. Maybe a predator. You tell me.
Well, if it bleeds, we can kill it.
I ain't got time to bleed.
Well, I don't know.
Yes, you do. That's why we brought you here. Cohagen's big secret is buried in that black hole you call a brain, and Quato's gonna dig it out.
You're Kuato, right?
Wrong. Quato's a mutant. Don't get upset when you see him. The rebel guy walks to the edge of the room and has his back to Quaid. Rebel guy then starts making some weird groaning sounds and opens his shirt up. The sounds rebel guy is making must make Quaid think he's jerking off. He's like, oh.
From the expression on the guy's face, he's just like,
Eyes roll back in the back of his head. He's like, oh God. A little arm emerges from Rebel Guy's midsection. When Rebel Guy turns around, it's revealed that Quato is a mutant that is also attached to Rebel Guy's chest and stomach. The puppet version of his character looks terrifying. Not just the Quato, but the actual guy. Oh.
it's horrible.
Quato looks like a baby that is ingrown into somebody's body.
Is that better?
What do you want, Mr. Quaid?
The same as you. To remember.
But why?
To be myself again.
You are what you do. A man is defined by his actions, not his memory. Please take my hand. I must sound like Dumbledore here. Quaid grabbed Harry. Harry Potter. Quaid grabs Quato's creepy little baby hands. Ah, now open your mind to me, please. Open your mind. Open your mind. Open your mind. Quato keeps saying, open your mind, but gets more and more trance-like. Quato enters Quaid's mind. There is a place with large pillars and bridges, with a large crater in the middle of the area.
Veradicadabra.
Cohagen is talking to Richter about blowing up the place before the rebels can use it. But if they do that, they could blow up the planet. A chain reaction could spread to all the turbinium in the planet. There you go, I got it there. That means meltdown on a planetary scale. This large area also has a machine with a large handprint in the middle of it. The handprint, though, looks like an alien handprint. Cut back to Quato and Quaid. The whole room is shaking and cave dust is falling from the ceiling. One of those big cave drill tanks comes crashing through into the room. Quaid snaps the rebel guy out of his trance that Quato left him in, and he and Quaid run away. Benny sees Quaid and the rebel guy run from the room. Quato was still visible from rebel guy's stomach, so he's like trying to cover him up, but you can still see him. More of the drill tanks invade the rebel base.
There's so many. The whole structure would just be
Shot.
Yeah, God, it's like 5-6 of them through each corner. There's probably only like a good 4 meters worth of wall.
That was a retaining wall! Cohagen soldiers enter, shooting machine guns. A battle ensues. Some great arms up in the air as I yell and fall straight to the ground dead after being shot action here. A lot of that, actually. Rebel guys tell Quaid, Melina, and Benny to put some spacesuits on as they're going outside. As they lock the door behind them, Benny points his gun at the group. Benny shoots Rebel Guy in the stomach.
Congratulations, Quaid. You led us right to him.
How could you do this? You're a mutant.
I got 4 kids to feed. So what happened to number 5? Oh, damn. Man, you got me. I ain't even married. Now put your goddamn hands in the air.
Benny opens the vault door from behind him. Richter and his men approach the door. A dying Quato appears from behind Rebel Guy's shirt.
Forget it, man. His fortune-telling days are over.
Start the reactor. Free Mars. Quato's head is brutally packed in by another gunshot.
Yep. Just
pretty much just watched a baby get murdered. Horrible stuff.
Mr. Cohagen would like to talk to you.
Cut to Richter showing Cohagen the body of rebel guy / Quato on a boardroom table. Sorry, a futuristic boardroom table. Cohagen starts talking to Quaid, who is handcuffed up with Melina shackled next to him. Well, my boy, you're a hero.
Screw you.
Ah, don't be so modest. Quato is dead. The resistance is completely wiped out, and you were the key to the whole thing.
He's lying.
You two-faced bastard. You can't blame him, Angel. He's innocent. You see, Quaid, none of my people could get close to Quato. Damn mutants could always sniff us out. So, Hauser and I sat down and invented you, the perfect mole.
You know you're lying. Hauser turned against you.
That's what we wanted you to think. The fact is, Hauser volunteered to become Doug Quaid. It was the only way to fool the psychics.
Oh, get your story straight. This idiot has been trying to kill me ever since I went to Recall. You don't kill somebody you're trying to plant.
He wasn't in on it. You set him off by going to Recall.
So why am I still alive?
We gave you lots of help. Benny here.
My pleasure, man.
The guy with the suitcase, the mask, the money, the message from Hauser, all of this was set up.
Sorry, too perfect.
Perfect, my ass. You pop your memory cap before we activate you. Richter goes hog wild, screwing up everything I spent a year planning. Frankly, I'm amazed it worked.
Well, Cohagen, I have to hand it to you. It's the best mind trick yet.
Well, don't take my word for it. Someone you trust wants to talk to you.
Who is it this time? My mother?
Oh, what a joke.
Wonderful.
Cohagen switches on some futuristic monitors over to a video message.
Hello, like face pressed against the screen.
This one's not, though. This one is actually...
Oh, because there's both
back.
of them. That's right. He's pulled back a bit. He is too.
They actually used a video camera, not a video message.
He's actually stood back 3 feet distance from it.
Yeah.
Howdy, Quaid. If you're listening to this, it means that Quato is dead, and you've led us to him. Ha! I knew you wouldn't let me down. Sorry for the crap I've put you through, but hey, what are friends for? I would like to wish you happiness and a long life, old buddy. But unfortunately, this is not gonna happen. You see, it's my body you've got there, and I want it back. Sorry, but I was here first. So adios, amigo. Thanks for not getting yourself killed.
Cohagen appears in a video next to Hauser.
Hey, maybe we'll meet in our dreams. You never know.
Cohagen switches off the video. Cut to Quaid getting carried and put into a recall machine. Time for some more intense Arnie facials. Melina is also put into a recall machine. Cohagen says for Quaid to relax. He's going to like being Hauser. He's Cohagen's best friend. And he has a big house and a Mercedes.
Wow. Are you in the future and you're talking about Mercedes still?
Yep. And he likes Melina, right? Well, he'll get to have her every night. She's going to be Hauser's babe. Cohagen says that Melina is going to be respectful, compliant, and appreciative. The way a woman should be. Jesus. Melina spits in Cohagen's face.
I'm glad it wasn't like an actual, like...
A goober.
Yeah.
Cohagen gets a video call from one of his men. Another close-up face shot.
Yeah, it is.
The oxygen level is bottoming out in Sector G. Cohagen says to do nothing. When the man says that the people in Sector G won't last an hour, well, Cohagen says, screw him. It'll be a good listen to the others. Quaid says to let them live, as he got what he wanted. Cohagen says in about 5 minutes' time, he won't care about those people.
Excuse me, Doctor. Is he going to remember any of this?
Not a thing.
Oh, really?
Richter then punches Quaid square in the face, which just pisses Quaid off. Cohagen tells the doc to remind Hauser of a party he is having later on. Richter says to Quaid that he will see him there.
Oh,
It's coming.
oh, it's so good.
Cohagen and Richter leave the room while the doctor starts up the machines. Quaid and Melina start to get their brains scrambled.
It's so insane.
Keep still. Fighting just makes it hurt.
He does not care, obviously. It's like, Quaid could not care less.
Just let your brain become mush.
Open your mind. My father was a drinker.
Let's go full on Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Cue more sweet Arnie facials to put him. Quaid uses his muscular forearms and wrists to break his right hand restraint.
He's insane. Like he's just, and they even put giant bolted ones with big like channels in them, so you couldn't get them off, and he still just rips out the whole socket mount of it.
And that leaves that big spike on the end of it and stabs the doc in the throat. Quaid then hits the other guy in the eye with a spiky restraint. So he stabs the other guy in the eye. So,
Poor men, just doing their jobs.
wow, they were like forcibly making someone lose their memory. So they weren't fully not to blame. Quaid frees himself and fights some more lab coats. The lab coats start grabbing weapons to fight with. I like that. They all start picking things up.
They're like, oh god, he's huge.
Reminds me of the scientists in GoldenEye 64. If you shot a scientist in that game but didn't kill them, they would start throwing grenades at you.
Grenades.
It's very hard not to kill them one shot, but if you do manage to do it, they'll start throwing grenades at you. Quaid fights them off, even impales a guy in the head with a piece of jagged metal rod.
Yeah, that bit at the scene when he's walking out and you can just see the guy on the ground with the pole out of his head. It's like, oh, okay, brutal.
Quaid frees Melina. Quaid then picks up an axe and the two run out of the room. Quaid and Melina then knock down two guards in an elevator and upgrade from melee weapons to fully automatic machine guns.
Level 4.
Upgrade.
New weapon.
Cut to Cohagen in his Emperor Palpatine inspired office.
Literally, yeah. It's like just straight across, big old window.
Red. Everything's just red. Richter walks in.
You have to make a decision, sir.
Kill him.
It's about goddamn time.
Like he like... Richter leaves the room. Cohagen kicks over his fish aquarium. Come on now. What did those fish do?
And that's like, you're probably the top level of a building too. That's just going to drip down to the lower floors. It's just going to cause a mess.
It was just silly, wasn't it? Cut to Tony and the rest of the people in Venusville, otherwise known as Sector G. They're all in pretty bad shape now, struggling to breathe, near death. Cut back to Quaid and Melina though. Quaid is going to the reactor in the mines.
Come on, let's go. Come on, hurry.
Quaid now knows that the reactor makes air. That's why Cohagen wants it to stay off. This way Cohagen can keep control and the money from the oxygen payments. Quaid also knows that aliens built the reactor. I'm guessing Quaid saw Quado's vision too. Quaid and Melina run to where the entrance to the reactor should be, except it's a dead end. A drill tank starts up from behind them. The drill tank starts driving towards them. Quaid and Melina start firing on the tank with the machine guns, but it seems to have no effect. Benny is the one driving the drill tank. Quaid picks up a portable drill. It seems to be the size of a jackhammer. Quaid starts to drill into the tank's hydraulics. Quaid gets cut up a little by the side rock grinders, but because he's Arnie, it has no effect on him. Melina starts to get cut up too as the two start to run out of room. Quaid manages to cut into the hydraulics enough to stop the drill tank just in the nick of time. Benny reverses the drill tank away from Quaid and Melina. Quaid runs up the side of the drill tank as it reverses.
Benny, here.
Quaid starts drilling into the operator access point of the drill tank.
Screw you.
Quaid drills right into Benny's stomach. End of Benny.
Yeah, poor Beanie.
Not really. He got what he deserved.
Hey, definitely.
He did, yeah.
Come on, man. I got 4 kids.
He was lying. He doesn't have kids at all.
Yeah.
And he has bug arms. Melina then tells Quaid to get over to her. The drill tank has created an opening for them in the wall. Quaid and Melina get their first look into the pyramid mine. The reactor.
This whole thing is one big reactor made out of turbinium. Cohagen knows it makes ears.
Ears.
It makes children's ears. Listen, Cohagen knows it makes ear. The bastard won't turn it on.
Of course not. If Mars had an atmosphere, he'd lose control.
See you down there. It's a glacier.
Sorry, see down there.
Oh, I had to do it. See you down there. It's a glacier. Whee! See down there? It's a glacier. The whole core of Mars is ice. The reactor melts it and releases oxygen. Enough for the whole planet.
Quaid and Melina walk across a long metallic bridge. Richter is hiding in the pillars with a bunch of men, waiting to ambush Quaid and Melina. As Melina and Quaid approach the pillar area, Quaid says for Melina to hold on. Quaid then goes in by himself, but puts on a wrist device. Classic Arnie sneaking around pose, very Terminator-like I put here. So I talked about before how this looks like he's a Terminator walking around. Richter shouts, "Now!" Richter's men surround Quaid and start firing. Quaid starts to do the old getting hit by multiple bullet stance and slowly falls to the ground. Quaid is dead. But wait, he's not. He goes full on Terminator just arriving from the future crouch position.
Literally with his hand that just stands up here.
And gets back up. Quaid continues to laugh. His image starts to pixelate as Quaid is a hologram. Quaid then arrives from behind the men and mows them all down with his machine gun.
Yeah, lads.
Carnage. Melina runs in and joins in on the massacre fun.
He's got a hologram.
Seriously, Richter, you say this now like 2 minutes after everyone clearly saw that Quaid was a hologram?
Where is it?
Oh, God.
Quick, give it to her. She's got a
Quaid approaches more men laughing.
You think this is the real Clyde? It is.
Quaid then mows them all down. Good guy style.
Yeah. Yeah.
Complete carnage.
Yeah.
Melina then gets shot at, but she is a hologram too. You can tell in the scene when there's a hologram shot, because as right before they're about to shoot, you see a white outline around them from the blue screen. Every time I saw them about to happen, it's like a big old white outline. I was like, Richter runs to a nearby maintenance elevator. Quaid jumps onto the elevator as it's going up.
Best part.
And has a fight with Richter. Here we go, some more classic moves here. Some classic moves such as slamming the head against the elevator, big exaggerated backhands, kicks to the body to get back up to their feet, and big back elbows to block a chokehold.
And then just flipping Richter over his back onto solid steel.
Oof. Quaid eventually throws Richter off the moving elevator, but Richter holds on to Quaid's wrists and is left hanging. Richter grabs Quaid's neck and drags him onto the edge of the elevator. The top is closing in, which will decapitate them both.
You're coming with me.
Quaid uses his strength to pull himself over more, which leaves Richter right in the chopping lane. Richter's arms get sliced off, and he falls to his death.
He's like twice his size. Of course he was going to be stronger than you.
And he has the momentum of actually being on the elevator.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you've got no ground, Anakin. Like, come on now.
Quaid throws Richter's freshly cut off arms down the elevator.
See you at the party, Richter.
He just tosses them down at him like, hey,
You can have your arms back.
put them back on and we'll see you at the party, mate. No worries.
Quaid continues the elevator ride up. Quaid enters the top level and gets off the elevator. He finds the alien handprint reactor activation button. As Quaid goes to press the button, Cohagen shines a light on Quaid, while also pointing a gun at him. Cohagen explains that if Quaid hits the button, that Mars will go into meltdown. That's why the aliens never turned it on. Cohagen says how in 30 seconds, Quaid will be dead. He will then blow up the reactor room and be home in time for cornflakes. Quaid goes to press the button, but Cohagen shoots to stop him from pressing. Stop monologuing, Cohagen. Just shoot him for God's sake.
Literally just go, ha, you didn't know. That's like, just shh.
Here's my plan.
And then look what happens.
Cohagen goes to shoot Quaid, but Cohagen is shot instead. Melina comes up an elevator with her gun drawn. She shoots Cohagen again. Cohagen falls to the ground. The detonator to Cohagen's bomb has fallen out of his pocket. He desperately tries to reach for it. Cohagen then presses the detonation button. Quaid grabs the bomb and throws it down a nearby shaft. The backdraft from the explosion knocks them down. The explosion has caused the room to depressurize, causing the three of them to get sucked out of the reactor. They all try to hang on to things for dear life. Quaid hangs onto a cable and starts to climb along it so that he can reach the reactor button. Cohagen is hanging on extremely well for someone who we just saw get riddled with bullets a moment earlier. Remember, he's been shot like 4 times now, and he's just like hanging on like it's no problem.
Yeah, it's still going.
Bullets don't hurt on Mars. Quaid loosens Cohagen's grip, which causes him to get sucked out of the reactor and into the atmosphere of Mars.
Yeah, I love that. He just like grabs his hand, just like tosses him away.
What a tumble Cohagen takes. Reminds me of that downhill race in the UK where they chase a wheel of cheese.
Oh my God, I love that.
It's just the flipping and the
It's
flipping.
insane.
Yeah. Do you reckon it's a dummy or an actual stunt person?
And the Mars, I reckon it was a dummy.
It's a dummy because the way they flipped
Yeah,
and
because it
folded.
was just like boom, boom, like head to foot. Yeah, like.
That was nasty. Cohagen's face starts bulging up as he gasps for air. These effects are great.
The eyes popping out. Oh!
Yep.
Literally just sitting there screaming, pulling at his neck like for 2 minutes straight. Just screaming.
Quaid manages to activate the reactor core. Meanwhile, Cohagen's face gets even more terrifying as his eyes bulge out of their sockets. Quaid loses his grip and gets sucked into Mars's atmosphere. He too takes a tumble like Cheese World race in the UK. And last but not least, Melina loses her grip and gets sucked out into Mars's atmosphere. The reactor core starts booting up. Cohagen finally dies from the atmosphere issues. His eyes have fully popped out of his head by the end.
The wee veins and everything, yeah. That's crazy.
Quaid and Melina now start their gasping and face morphing. The reactor starts to melt the ice. Cut to a restaurant inside feeling the aftershock effects of the reactor as air pockets start to open up from the side to the pyramid. Cut back to Quaid and Melina continuing their gasping morphing. The pyramid fully blows as the top becomes exposed. Oxygen is now fully spreading across Mars. The air blasts through the windows of the buildings. Cut back to Quaid and Melina still gasp morphing. The air starts to blow people off their feet in Venusville. Surprised some can hang on to things since they were almost dead from lack of oxygen.
That's what I thought. They're almost dead. They all stand up like, what's that noise? It's like, no.
You wouldn't be able to walk.
Yeah.
You'd be so exhausted.
You take one last breath, you just pass out. Like every time you move, you're passing out.
You'd be hanging on to things. Quaid and Melina's symptoms start to regress as oxygen floods through their bodies. The shots of the air filling the sky actually looks pretty cool. You see it like coming through the top of it. Tony and the groups inside start to pick themselves back up and look out at the now weird shade of blue sky that Mars now has. Quaid and Melina look up in amazement and relief. Mars now has a breathable atmosphere. I can't believe it. It's like a dream.
Dun dun dun.
What's wrong?
I just had a terrible thought. What if this is a dream?
Well, then kiss me quick before you wake up. Quaid goes for the power kiss. He slams his face into hers. Watch it again if you don't believe me.
Yep, he literally
like,
does.
wow.
He just like, yeah.
The scene then fades to white. Was that the transition to Quaid waking up? Question mark.
That's what I almost,
Yeah.
It is almost like that.
End of movie. Well, Matt, we got through it. We had some fun. We had some...
Yeah, we had some good.
Now that we've run through the movie Total Recall, let's go to our ratings.
Nobody does it, Bennett. Maha!
Right, so I've done our ratings now for Total Recall 1990. Matt, let's go through what we've got here. Let's start with story. What have you given it out of 5 stars?
I've given it a 5.
Given it a 5?
Yeah, because it's 2 stories to me. It's one that could be real, and then one that was just an entire psycho delusion of him having his 2 weeks in that, and that's what we watched. And then he was just about to wake up, and then he goes back to work with his wife and all that. So yeah, 5 for me.
That's fair. For me, I've given it 3.5. I think if it was just in the action film like I thought it was as a kid, it maybe be about like a 2 or 3 out of 5. Maybe a 3, probably more like a 2. Because it is an action, but it's not one of the best action films I've ever seen. But because it's got that extra layer to it, it has that bit where, is it real, is it not real? It's not overly deep, but it's enough to make you keep thinking.
Yeah, definitely.
So I give it 3.5 out of 5 or 3.5 out of 5. For acting, I've given this 3 out of 5. Yes, there's some great cheesy moments. They've cast this perfectly for what the kind of tone they wanted for this film. Saying it's a 3 because it's not superb acting. It's movie action acting, but it's still great. I still love it.
Yeah, I've given it a 3 as well.
Give it a 3 as well.
Basically on the same point, really. It's a lot of cheesy things like the whole screw you and just all of it the whole way through. It's almost like, Danny, when I told you I'd kill, like that I can't remember what that movie's called, but it's like that. When I told you I'd kill you last, I lied, and he just drops the guy off the cliff.
Commando,
yeah, it was
Yeah.
too,
so good. Don't wake him up. He's dead tired.
yeah, don't wake him up. He's dead tired. It's like, yes, you killed them.
Yeah, it's a movie that's designed to just be perfect for Arnie,
Yeah.
but it doesn't mean you're going to get much depth to the role.
No, that's exactly right.
So how well it holds up, Matt? What have you given it?
I gave it a 4
Give it a 4?
based on I could watch it over and over and over and over and over and find nothing that I don't like about it completely. Like I'd be able to find, yeah. The only thing I'd probably be more interested in would be if it was real or not. Did it happen? Did it not? It's kind of, yeah, as you said before, it's kind of the Inception back and forth. It kind of, and yeah, even Shutter Island, like there's a lot of different movies that are just keep you thinking at the end.
Leaves you with the question. For me, I've given it 3. I think there's some graphical issues, some blue screen issues, but most importantly, like they did say at the start of it, there are some cultural issues. With Batman Returns, I had this argument with Jeff about how the mistreatment of Selena Kyle, I didn't mark it down for it because there was the bad guys showing you just how chauvinistic and how evil they were. It was over the top, but it's meant to show you like this is like a exaggerated corporate person in the movie, how they see women. It's a way of showing it and also making Selena the victim still. But this one, although it has those moments to it, the bit where like create your own woman and sleazy, and for most part, yeah, like Melina does have some cool aspects to her as well. But I find it, yes, there's probably some cultural issues.
You wouldn't re-release it.
You release it with the warning, like they put on there. So there's a reason it's got its warning on there. So I gave it 3 out of 5. For music, what have you given it, Matt?
I gave it a 1.
Give it a 1?
Yeah, I hated the music all the way through this movie. I just don't think they chose any of it right. One good part when he walked into the club scene, even just before he goes into the club scene, there's a bit of classical music that kind of plays, and I was like, that does not fit at all, but it sounds nice.
I've given it 2 because, yeah, it's very generic sci-fi music. It's like I said, it had elements of Alien and it had elements of Terminator, but nothing measured up. Like it was just felt like a cheap imitation of both.
Yeah, it kind of was. It was just like they forgot to hire someone, and at the end they were like, oh crap, we've got to write a soundtrack for this movie.
The reason I didn't give it 1, because I don't think the music actually harms the film. Like, you listen to it and you just forget about it.
You do, yeah. And that's the problem. I like that with big action scenes, though. You like to know that there's something coming up, or there's, like, it would have been good to have a dun, 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 when he got grabbed by those guys and pulled around the corner. It would have been like, oh, crap, what's going on? But instead it was just a bit confused here. Yeah.
I would have given it a 1 if it took me out of the scenes, but it doesn't. It just kind of just blends in, but not in a great way. So for visuals, how good it looks, like how well it's shot and stuff, what have you given it?
I gave it a 3.
3?
Yeah. I think based on, because most of the animation and stuff I would have seen was because it was I think it was remastered a little bit, because it looked far too good to be a 90s movie. Like, even when the windows were smashing and everything, the mountain blew up, like, that looked insane on the one that I watched. And then I went on Google afterwards and I was like, oh yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah. I didn't think it looked like that. The only thing that kind of stayed the same graphical wise as from the like when I first watched it was probably Quato. Like the crappy eyes, like everything was just kind of.
For me, for visuals, I've given it 3 as well. I think the shot of like the landscape shot of the mountains and stuff at the start looked pretty cool. Like the 2 little astronauts looking up, his reaction and stuff in the machine looks cool. There are some cool shots in this movie, but there's nothing that's absolutely superb that you go, wow, this is like incredibly shot, or the style they've gone with is really, really cool. It's good, but it's not great. So I give it 3 out of 5. Likes of Jurassic Park, where you get like the ripple in the water. It's just so many great shots. This one never has any of those moments, apart from maybe like at the end when they're all suffocating.
They're all getting whipped around.
Right. So let's go through what we've got here. For story, Matt, you gave it 5 and I gave it 3.5. For acting, I gave it 3 and you gave it 3. For how well it holds up, you gave it 4 and I gave it 3. For music, I gave it 2 and you gave it 1. And for visuals, how good it looks, you gave it 3 and I gave it 3. So it gives you a grand total of 16 out of 25. And it gives me a grand total of 14.5 out of 25, which gives us the grand total of 30.5 stars out of 50. So 30.5 out of 50 for Total Recall.
That's not actually too bad.
That's actually surprisingly low, though, if we go to the rankings. Ghost has 23 out of 50, which is the worst in MRU at the moment.
And then there's this.
And second last now is Total Recall with 30.5. I thought it was going to be a lot higher with me, but when I actually did the review and thought about things, like, I had a lot of fun with this movie, and one category I haven't got on here is how much you love watching the film.
It's true.
Which, if it was on there, I would have given it 5 stars.
Yeah, no, true. I would have too.
I really enjoy this film, but if you actually think about it for its story, like, yes, it's got the, is it Recall, is it not, which is great. It's a little bit in depth, but it's making it from being a 2 out of 5 action film to a 3.5 for me. Acting's not great. It's very much Arnie, but I still love Arnie in this time.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But I can't give him more than a 3 because it was very hokey.
It was. It's all kind of hokey when he does like this Commando Predator, even the start of Predator was kind of a bit cheesy.
Running Man.
Yeah, Running Man was a bit cheesy at the start of that. What was that one where he's...
Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah, that's it. The Turbo Man.
Jingle All the Way.
Yeah, Jingle All the Way. Like, that was good. Like, he saved the day at the end of it, but it was a piss take. Yeah.
It was catered for his kind of style of acting, which this movie, on a scale for what we've gone through, I was like, wow, I really enjoyed that film, but by God, we did not give it many ratings.
30.5.
30.5 out of 50, which
And
puts
Ghost
it
is after that.
puts it in 14th out of 15. 14 out of 15 so far. The top 5 will go through that. Jurassic Park from 1993 is still the perfect movie. 50 stars out of 50 stars. Cannot be beat, can only be matched.
Never.
Jumanji is still in second from 1995, the Robin Williams one with 47.5 stars.
Who was your host on that?
That was Alice.
Oh, that would have been cool. Yeah,
That was fun. She loves Jumanji.
yeah, Jumanji's an amazing movie.
Batman and Big are in third equal with 44.5 stars. That's Batman 1989. That's the Jack Nicholson and Michael Keaton one. Spider-Man is in fifth with 43.5 stars. So Total Recall, yeah, like 30.5 stars out of 50 or 30.5. It's not going to be in the bottom ones for that long, I don't think, because 30.5 stars is still pretty good. It's still over 50%. It's interesting doing a review like this and comparing it to how much I enjoyed the film to actually breaking it down into categories.
Yeah, I love the film, but yeah, I hated the music.
If you disagree with that, well, if you like what you hear or have any suggestions or thoughts for us, who knows, it might be about our low ratings for Total Recall 1990. Well, you can contact us by going to the Nobody Does It Bennett Facebook page or by hitting us up on the Twitter at NobodyDIBennett. You can also email us at nobodydoesitbennett@outlook.com or by going to our website, nobodydoesitbennett.buzzsprout.com. That's a Bennett with 2 N's and 2 T's. Nobody Does It Bennett is available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and other podcast outlets. Right, Matt, do you have any final thoughts about Total Recall 1990?
It's better than the new one with Colin Farrell. 10 times over, even if the soundtrack isn't that good.
It's fun. It doesn't have to be great as long as it's fun.
Yeah, doesn't have to tick all the boxes, yeah.
No, and this movie is one of those ones where you go, it might not be Jurassic Park perfect 50 stars, but by God, it's a lot of fun. Total Recall was a movie that I like to revisit every 5 to 10 years. It's got some awesome 80s style action, brutal and unsettling effects, but most importantly, a story that makes me think more than I would usually do for a popcorn action film. The two versions of Arnie reminds me of another movie of his, The Sixth Day. I'm not sure if you've seen The Sixth Day there, Matt.
Those things in his eyes.
Yeah, things in his eyes, but he's like a clone of himself.
Oh my God, that's right. And he goes back to his house.
Yeah.
Oh, I actually loved that movie too. I need to actually rewatch that.
It's another one that's just a vehicle for Arnie, but it's another one where he has to have fun.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely. Oh, that's such a good movie. I haven't seen that in years.
I think it's possibly on one of the streaming services. Matt, thank you for recommending this movie to cover and also for joining me tonight. I'm sorry I didn't get higher on the reviews. I feel bad.
Nah, absolutely no problem. Same, actually. I'm just like, I rated it 133.
Yeah, after I just looked at my total, I was like,
30.5. You 14 and I did 16.
I did 14.5 stars and 25. It felt like it should be a better movie.
Yeah, like 22 each, like 44, 43 stars. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Arnold, if you ever listen to this podcast, we love you so much.
And thank you for listening. Remember, some others may do it better, but nobody does it better. Take care.
It's the end of the show. And now it's time to go. Don't be sad, just be glad. Then nobody does it better.